All right, welcome to Reality Rundown, episode 23, where we'll be recapping tonight's episode of Big Brother All-Stars. I'm your host, Connor Nelson, along with my co-host, Christian Holman. How you doing?
Doing great. Football's been a lot of fun. Beating up fantasy this week, so
Had to say
can't
it.
complain.
You had to say it.
Can't
You had to
complain.
say it.
Just want that out there.
We're going that. We're going there. All right, fair enough. If you guys are watching on YouTube and you like the podcast, leave a like. If you have any suggestions for us, leave it in the comments. And subscribe and with notifications on, and you will know when we post so you can keep up with all the episodes and you're not behind. If you want to watch us record these live, we go live at twitch.tv/reality rundown after every single episode, and you can catch us there. Again, this week, I think it's going to be an exciting week, and I think it's starting to heat up even tonight. I know it wasn't a great episode and not much really happened here, but we're starting to see things start to get in motion and things start to, like, the big alliance to start imploding, and I think with the triple eviction looming, it's going to get real fun real quick.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the point in the game where they have to start going at each other. Otherwise, if you're not going after one of them, there's a good chance they're going after you. So it's at that point of the game, which I'm really rooting for one of the two nominees to come down so we can get a good committee
Christmas
member
on
gone.
Christmas on the block.
But yeah, it's I'm so excited for this triple eviction. Like,
yeah.
After HOH was played tonight, I started thinking, I was like, dang, I am so excited for triple eviction.
Ready for Thursday. But
yes.
the only thing I'm disappointed in is the triple eviction is going to make it to where the big alliance going after each other, it's going to be basically one night of like chaos and fun. But after that, it's kind of like, well, like we're left with 4, 5, 6, and it's just going to be not that interesting. It's just going to be like one by one they go. We're not going to see like the big blow ups, I think, that we could have seen like longer drawn out.
Yeah, I think had we saw a triple eviction maybe 2 weeks ago,
2 or 3 weeks ago, it would have been perfect.
It would have been huge.
Because I think the big alliance would have like went at each other because like, oh, it's early enough to where it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I do think so long as David is just quiet and doesn't ruffle anyone's feathers this week, he's coming out of this week really well. Because
yeah.
I don't foresee a world where he goes home on triple eviction. I don't foresee a world where he gets.
I do. What do you mean you don't see him going? I 100% see him going home on triple eviction.
I do not think he will.
I think he'll be the first if he doesn't win, because they're not going to know it's a triple. They're going to think it's a double. They're just going to be like, oh, this is easy. We'll just get David out of here real quick. David doesn't win the HOH. David goes home. Oh crap! It's a triple, and then.
No, I don't think David goes home. I think maybe potentially on the second one, but even then, I don't think so, because I think we're going to see.
I hope not. I hope we see some shots, and it's gonna be fun.
That's what I think we're going to get, and there's going to be lines drawn. We're going to see whoever wins on that side. We're going to have let's say Tyler wins. HOH, he takes out Danny. Then we got, or whoever Christmas wins takes out Danny. Whatever. Then we got Nicole who wins. She's mad, but I don't think she would be. But you know how it's going to go. We're going to see people just fighting each other. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And it's 2 hours, so we're going to see. I think it's going to be like they're going to show us a lot instead of trying to compact it all into an hour where we don't see very much, and it's very quick.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, this episode, it starts with Enzo in the DR talking about Dr. Will coming on the screen and being there, and he says he's looking good. He's got the silver. He's the silver fox. He looks richer. Which, fair enough.
He definitely looks richer. He got that plastic surgery. He's got it going.
Dr. Will looks richer, but he says that he is definitely going to go for the money in the HOH comp. He just doesn't care. He doesn't need to win HOH. He's going for the money, which fair enough.
Yeah, that's what I would have done if I was in his spot. All 3 shots straight at the hole.
Yeah. Yeah. Nicole, she talks about how she's glad that she kept her word to Davon by not voting her out, which if she thinks that's what's going to like win her jury vote over, I don't think that's going to work, but I don't know. I don't see that being like I didn't vote you out, so do I have your vote? It's like, no, you lied to me continuously for weeks, and you said that we were together, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, I honored the thing. I honored what I told you at the beginning of the season. Well,
that
guess
means
what? You
nothing.
lied to me about everything else.
I gave you a pity vote that legitimately means nothing, but I got your vote right. No.
Yeah.
It's not how this works.
Very interesting to me.
she was talking to Christmas, and they're talking about the votes and who it was, and she asked Christmas, like, do you think David was one of the votes? And so she's trying to pin the vote on somebody else when I think the house clearly knows it was her. And Christmas in this conversation, like she doesn't show Nicole that she knows, but right after this conversation, Christmas and the DR like, Nicole, like, I know it was you and Danny, and this further makes me realize that I need to go after you, and you guys need to be out of this house.
Yeah, man. The thing about it is, like, everyone knows.
There's a time to lie and a time not to lie, and a pity vote for Davon is not a time to lie.
No.
Like, people are going to understand. You just got to be like, listen, she gave me a vote to win this
especially,
game.
Yeah,
she could have played it so many different ways.
Like, she could literally be like, yeah, they all came to me. I figured I could easily pin it on David.
Well, not only that, I would just be like, I won this game because of her, so I was just giving her this vote back. That was way before.
Never mind. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I went behind a week. But, yeah, I mean, so I'm paying her back. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. Same thing with so Nicole goes and talks to Danny after this, and they're talking about the vote, and both of them deny it to each other, and they both clearly know that both of them did it, and they know that they're both lying to each other. So again, like, why lie here? Like, why further separate each other when you can just be like, yeah, it was me, and who cares? Like, this just makes, like...
The thing about that is, like, if you do say it if you do tell her, because, I mean, they're both the same way where if they get just a little information, they're just going to be like, yeah, it was her. I promise it was her, 100%.
Yeah, but Nicole clearly was not lying well in that. She was, like, laughing and smiling, like, no, it wasn't me, and, like, you can definitely tell.
She's looking away the whole time.
You could definitely tell it was her, and it was very obvious. So, like, I just don't understand that lie, but...
Nicole's not a good liar. She's such a bad liar.
No, 100%.
So, it's weird when she won the game. They're being such a bad liar. But...
And then after this, Danny talks to Nicole about her power and if she should use it. And Nicole's like, yeah, I think you should 100% use this because that's just another person in our alliance playing HOH and another person keeping us safe. And if Kevin and David win, we're probably going up, one of us. So, yeah, like you should use the power. And Danny's very reluctant, doesn't want to use it, doesn't want to show that, like, on the off chance that it got back to Kevin that she had the power and used it, he would use that as like, oh, you used the power here, so I'm putting you up. Which, this wouldn't be a problem if she didn't tell Davon that she had the power in the first place. Like, there was no reason for her to give that information to Davon, which Davon did go tell Kevin, so Kevin does know. But, like, why even tell her at that point?
Yeah, I think she told her. I don't know when she told her, but if she told her when I think she probably told her, she was probably telling her to make sure it's like, yeah, we're good. I'm on your side. I'm working with you. I want to work with you.
It's like...
But, yeah, it's like, at least wait till after HOH is over, or like the eviction's over.
But during this conversation with Nicole, she's like very like she's pushing back on it. She doesn't want to use it, and Nicole's like, I literally took the fall of the vote against Davon completely. I didn't say anything about you. I said that it wasn't you, and I'm asking you to do this one simple thing of using your power on Memphis secretly, and you're like not wanting to do it, and you can tell there's some friction there, and it's becoming like they're starting to split.
Yeah, they're actively targeting each other now, so it's like, yay! Let's see friendships get broken.
Yeah. And Danny's going about this the complete wrong way. Like she goes on later to be like, I'm gonna use it, but I want my alliance to think, oh, I'm using it for you guys. And if that's the case, like when you're talking to Nicole here, you got to be like, I'm using this so that we can get one more extra person. Like, say everything Nicole's saying, but you say it first. So, again, it looks like you're using it for the benefit of them, not the benefit of you.
Yeah, so I think she fully planned on not using it until after her conversation with Nicole. And then she realized how heated it got, and she was just like, well, maybe I could spin this somehow.
But at that point, it was too late.
Yeah, and then once she goes up and talks to Memphis here after this conversation, Memphis is like, I don't even want you to use it on me.
Yeah. So she goes and talks to Memphis, and she's like, I have this power, and I just want to help out the alliance, and I want you to play so we have an extra person. And he's like, I mean, to be honest, I really don't want it. Like, I don't want the power. I don't think you should use it on me. And she's just like, I just want us to be on the same page, and I want to know that if you win, that I'm safe. and he is just very clearly like not about it. Like very clearly.
Well, no, he just agreed with her. He didn't tell her no, like in front of it. But like, in his DR, he's like, I don't want her to use it, but I'm just gonna go with it because I don't want to seem like I'm against the alliance in any way.
Yeah. So she ends up using it, and it comes up on the screen and has everybody come to the living room and announces the replay power has been in effect, and the outgoing HOH will be able to play in the HOH comp that day, and that all 3 powers are now expired, which is kind of a big deal because Christmases was still like people didn't really know there was one out there somewhere. So that's kind of a relief for all of them that all 3 are expired.
Yeah,
and
it's
Christmas
nice to get powers out of the house.
Yeah.
But it's funny too because if Memphis won, I think he actually would have targeted Danny, which would have been great.
Yeah. So so we get to the HOH comp, and everybody goes one by one, and it's like basically putt golf into a trough of numbers, and the lower number you get, the further away that it lands in, you win. And there's 2 sides. You got either $10,000 you can go for, or the other side you can go for HOH. And you have 3 balls, and your highest number after you hit your 3 balls in is what you get. And so Tyler goes first, and he's like, I want to win HOH, but I don't necessarily need HOH, so I'm going to go for both and just see what happens. So he shoots first into the $10,000 side, and he gets 3, which is third best number you can get. Yeah, so he's like, all right, I'm good there. So he goes to the HOH side. His first shot gets stuck, and it honestly, if it would have went in, he would have gotten like 2 or 3, it looked like.
Yeah, it would have been a really good shot.
It would have been a really good shot. Either way, he hits again. I think it went into like 14 or 15, so clearly not going to win. Next, we have Nicole. She goes strictly for HOH. She's like, I just want to show that I want to win something. I want to show that I'm going to keep the alliance safe. And she gets a 10, and that's not going to win.
After hitting the... Wait, no, she was... Yeah, never mind. She hit him as hard as she could.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah. Memphis goes next, and he's just talking to the cameras outside. He's like, I don't want to win this. I didn't even want to play in this, so I'm not even going to go for the... Which, this is so stupid.
Why would he not go for the money, though?
So stupid. He says, I'm not even going to go for the money because I don't even want to have to lie to anybody. All you have to say is I didn't win it. What do you mean? Nobody knows. Like,
yeah,
go for the money. So he hits all 3 shots in the HOH. The first one he shoots a 5, which is a really good number. And so he's like, crap, I don't want to win this. So he shoots again and gets 18. And he's like, all right, we're good. Walks off. So I just don't understand that move of like, I would rather not go for the money so I don't have to lie. What? You don't have to lie. You just say, I didn't win.
Well, I mean, you do have to lie.
You do, but I mean, all you have to say is I didn't win. Which
it's not like it's going to burn people in any way.
It's not like Memphis has some moral compass.
If that's eating at your conscience, maybe you shouldn't be playing Big Brother. If that's
not
where you draw the line with lying.
Yeah, and it's not. Let's be honest. I think it was more of like, I don't even know. I don't know what it was. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it was nonsense to me. I was like, dude, try to win the money.
Yeah. So Kevin's next, and he's obviously going for HOH because he knows, like, if I don't win this, I'm probably going on the block. So he shoots one, and I think it's out of bounds. He shoots the second one, and he lands in 5, which to me, I'm like, I would keep that score at a 5. But he's like, he's going back and forth. He's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I should shoot again, but, and he just like going back and forth. So he decides he's going to shoot again, and he shoots out of bounds. So no score for Kevin.
Yeah, poor Kevin.
So dumb.
Which, I mean, he wouldn't have won with that 5 anyways, but it's still like...
5's a guy, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those numbers like, maybe I can't do better. But honestly, I think he probably did do the right thing taking the shot, but odds are someone is going to beat the 5. It's really interesting the way they did this comp. I actually really liked this comp where they did it privately, and there's a money option.
Yeah.
So I actually really liked this comp where people had to make choices about going again and waiting. It was an interesting comp. I liked it.
I liked it a lot. So Danny goes next, and she's like, I want no part of this HOH. Goes 100% for the money, and she also lands in 3. So her and Tyler both have the score of 3 for the 10,000. David goes next, and he gets a 7. It's not gonna win. 7's not good. I mean, it's all right. It's middle of the pack. Whatever. Christmas doesn't even try for the money, goes straight for HOH. And I genuinely think that she wanted to win this. Like, she was mad.
Yeah,
she was really mad that she didn't win this. And I really wish she would have won this because she 100% would have put up Nicole and Danny, and it would have been awesome.
Yeah, I was hoping she would win it too, but she smacked them as hard as she could. Every single one. It was just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think all 3 went out of bounds. I don't think she got one in the hole.
Yeah, just have a little subtlety. Like, come on.
Yeah. So then Enzo comes out. He, again, does not want the HOH. And he's like, I'm going for this money. I don't care. I want the money. Shoots and gets out of bounds all 3 times. Doesn't even get a score. So it's down to Cody, and he shoots. I think first he landed in like 5 or 6 maybe.
Cody?
His first shot I think was like 5 or 6, and he was like, I don't think that's going to be good enough. So he shoots again, and he ends up shooting a 2. So Cody is the HOH, and Tyler and Danny split the 10,000, so they each get 5,000. But nobody knows.
Here's what he did with his third shot, though. I wish they would have showed his third shot on the money, because surely he shot for the money.
You would think. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I wish they would have shown that, because it's like, at least tell us.
Yeah, if he did. Yeah, he had to have, because they said 4 people went for, like, the screen pops up and it said 4 people went for the money, and then it comes up that the score of 3-1, so he had to have. Because Enzo, Danny, and Tyler were the only 3 people we saw go for the money, right?
I guess so, yeah.
So, yeah, I think so. I think that's right. So, again, Tyler, Danny split the 10,000. They each gets 5,000. Cody's the HOH, and they all come inside after this, and Tyler and Danny are talking, and they're like, "Did you win the money?" And they're like, or Tyler's like, "No, I didn't win. Did you win?" She's like, "No, I didn't win." And they're both denying it, which I would 100% deny it. There's no way I would tell anybody that if I won anything extra, because that's just a bigger target on you. But I don't know if anybody on the live feeds told. I think Tyler may have said something to Memphis, because he thought Memphis got half of it. So he's like, sorry that I took the other half. And Memphis like, it wasn't me. Like, I didn't get any of the money. So I think Memphis does know, and I'm sure he's told some other people. But at this moment, he doesn't tell Danny.
Yeah, which, I mean, I wouldn't tell Danny anything. I wouldn't tell anybody anyways. I'd keep that completely to myself. And
yeah.
I wouldn't even ask people who won. I would, if someone asked me, like, yeah, I'm not gonna ask. I mean, if I wanted, I'd probably lie. But
yeah, I wouldn't tell anybody. And then as soon as I come inside, it immediately cuts to a DR with Kevin, and he's just like, he's crying, and he's like, it had to be Cody. Like, I'm 100% going on the block. Like, this sucks. And I just thought it was funny that it just cuts to him crying in the DR.
I'm curious who he wouldn't have cried had they won. Like,
David,
literally,
maybe? David.
Yeah, that's the only person. And I think there's a chance David. No, I don't think David. I think David actually would have put up other people.
Yeah, I don't think David puts him up.
But I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, obviously, dude, you're going on the block.
Yeah. So what? Go ahead.
Who hasn't put him on the block? Nicole and David. Is that it? Just Nicole and David?
Or who wouldn't? Or who hasn't?
No, who hasn't put him on the block?
Oh.
Everyone's put the dude on the block.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. But either way, Enzo goes up to the HOH room, and he's clearly excited that Cody won, which why wouldn't he be? He's 100% safe. There's nothing for him to worry about. But this is when you start getting the he's starting to throw the seeds of Christmas needs to go on the block. And he's just like, I think that if she wins, she's going to put me and you up. Like, I think this is our chance to throw her up there on the block and get her out of here. And it cuts to a DR with him, and I think he's true in, like, wanting to go ahead and make this shot now and not wait and not put Kevin and David up. Just go for a bigger target.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I don't know why he. So him and Christmas have been tight, at least on the show. So it was weird to me that he was wanting to go after Christmas, as they were working relatively close, even talking about going late game with each other. So it was shocking to me that he wanted Christmas to go. Yeah. Opposed to, like, saying, let's go after anyone else in the alliance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think it's like, he knows Memphis is working both angles of Cody and Christmas, and he's way closer to Cody than either one, Christmas or Memphis. So he thinks if he splits Christmas off with Memphis, he will have Memphis and Cody all to himself. I don't know what his play is here, but I feel like getting rid of Christmas for him is not very good because
No, I don't feel like that's best
he's locked
for him.
into a final three. For Cody, it's great.
I think for Cody, it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's great
Like
for Cody.
the whole like let's make me the only final three with Memphis makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, 100%. So it cuts to, I think Danny walks into the storage room and she checks on David. She's like, "Hey, are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm just cleaning the fridge. I'm upset I lost." And I'm sure he's doing this to try to show that, like, hey, I'm cleaning the fridge. I'm, like, helping out to try to get some, like, goodwill in the house. I don't know. Not a bad play. I mean, it's not going to really do much for you, but it can't hurt.
No, I mean, it's being helpful, keeps people in the house usually for a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
Now, when you get to later on in the game, it starts to not really matter as much, but
yeah,
it's I mean, it's still nice to do it. I mean,
Again, it doesn't hurt.
Everything matters.
Yeah, it's probably not going to, like, do much for you, but it's not going to hurt you, so it can't hurt to try that.
Unless you throw away Christmas's cake.
Then we might see a blow up.
Yeah.
We see Danny in the HOH room with Nicole, Enzo, and Cody, and she's like, "Did you guys see Christmas after the HOH comp when you won? She was so mad that you won, Cody." And Memphis is like, "Yeah, I saw her mad. Like, she was furious." And Nicole speaks up, and she's like, "I think she was just mad that she lost. I don't think she was mad that Cody won. I think she just really wanted to win this one." And Danny was like, "No, like, it was definitely because Cody won." And this is, like, definitely shows how, like, unsubtle Danny is. It's like, she 100% wants Christmas on the block, so this is the reason she's going about it this way. But, like, be a little more subtle here.
Yeah, that was really on the nose there. But, I mean, I actually didn't really notice Christmas stomping around way too much.
I didn't see her getting mad. I think she was mad, though. Like,
attention.
I know after it, she was, like, by herself, like, sobbing because she lost. But it was just because she wanted to win and put Nicole and Danny up. It wasn't because Cody won. It's not because she's concerned about Cody. She just she wanted to win.
Yeah.
Which that's just how she is, I think.
Yep. Competitive Christmas.
Cody and... Okay, so everybody leaves and it's just Cody and Nicole. Or Cody and Danny, I'm sorry. And Danny keeps just like, Christmas, man. Like, she is so mad that you won. And he's just like, yeah, like, I saw that. And, like, it starts, like, his mind is like, maybe Christmas should go on the blog this week. Or maybe, like, we should get Christmas out of here because things are looking a little fishy with Christmas.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's what Danny does. She's done a really good job at getting in people's heads this season. Now, I think it's probably going to bite her in the butt soon, but...
Yeah, I think people are starting to catch on to it. Then we get the, Nicole walks into the bathroom. And David's sitting on the couch, and he's like, "Hey, someone's in there." And I guess she just doesn't believe David, and she opens the door, and Enzo is in the bathroom, and she's just like, "Oh my God," like freaking out. And David's like, "What? I told you someone was in there. What are you doing?"
Yeah, I mean, she literally turns and looks at him, and she's like, boom,
boom, opens the door.
She gets full frontal Enzo.
And they said she got Enzo'd.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like. David told you, "Hey, I'm waiting on the bathroom. There's someone in there."
I bet she doesn't do that again.
Clearly does not trust David whatsoever. After this, Enzo goes upstairs to the HOH room, wakes Cody up, and he's like, "Yo, this is perfect. Like, this is a great HOH for you to win. Final 8, like, couldn't have been better." And he's like, "Yeah, but like this week, I guess I'm just gonna have to go with Christmas or with Kevin and David." And this is when Enzo's like, I just want you to know that I know that we're in the Wise Guys, but Christmas is also in the Wise Guys." And Cody's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, Memphis made a Wise Guys with me and you, but there's also another Wise Guys, another Final 3 with me, Memphis, and Christmas." And Cody's like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what the heck?" And I think he liked that there was 2 named the same thing, but he's like, "Yeah, this is kind of a problem. Like, maybe, like, again, this is more of like Christmas, just piling on Christmas. Like, maybe it's time to get Christmas out of here because that's not good for me or you."
Yeah, it was funny. It was weird to me the fact that he's like, well, it wasn't weird because considering what happened earlier in the show, but like, it's funny to me the fact that he's like, this is a reason why Christmas needs to go.
I don't know why. This is not a good play for Enzo at all.
No, it doesn't make a lot of sense for Enzo, but it just doesn't make sense. Like, why is that the reason you'd want to take out Christmas? Because he's like, she's unloyal because she's doing this.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Christmas isn't doing anything.
Memphis is the guy doing this. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he wants to work with Memphis. Well, he wants to keep that with Memphis. So I'm guessing he probably doesn't talk much game with Christmas and everything. So it just makes sense for him.
For Enzo here, like, why would Enzo not keep his mouth shut? Because even if he wants to go Final 3 with Cody and bring Cody to the Final 3, like, who cares? If you make it to the Final 4 with Memphis, Christmas, and Cody, and you're there with them, you have both chances of making Final 3 because you're covered on all barriers there. So why do you want Christmas out? Like, it just doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense to keep Christmas around, but at the same time, it does make a little sense to get rid of her. Maybe not now, but like not taking her to Final 4, because let's say she does win that Final 4, or let's say she's the one voting in the Final 4 HOH. She's probably gonna she would send Cody home in that situation.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's maybe later on, but for right now, she's with you.
Yeah,
to my knowledge.
Yeah, I'm saying it's probably a fine move for Cody to get her out, but for Enzo is what I'm saying. Like,
well, yeah. What I'm saying is, like, Enzo wants to be Final 2 with Cody.
Sure. No, I disagree with that. I think he wants Final 2 with Memphis now. From
what
he said,
he would want to go.
He thinks he can beat. He thinks he can beat Memphis. He doesn't think he can.
Yeah, but he wants to take Cody as far as he can, I guess. But
he just doesn't want to be the one to cut Cody. Like, he wants Cody to be cut by somebody else, so he doesn't get that blood on his hands. He does have to be the one that's like, sorry, I'm not taking you. I'm taking Memphis.
Yeah.
When he's the whole time being like, it's me and you, yo. It's me and you.
Meow Meow's got your back.
Man, I'm lost. All right, hang on.
Probably Kevin talk.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, yeah, this is whenever Cody talks about who he wants, like the order he wants people out next. So he says he wants Kevin first, Danny second, Kevin first, Christmas second, Danny third. That's his order of who he wants out. And again, like, I don't get this with him. Like, Danny fully has Cody no matter what. Like, I get Tyler or whoever wanting Danny out, but for Cody, it doesn't really make sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, Danny actually hasn't targeted Cody at all, unlike
Danny's
everyone
obsessed
else.
with Cody.
That's news. But,
yeah, no, obsessed with Cody.
Yeah, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Which I don't think he actually would go after her unless everyone is like, we got to get rid of her. She's a snake.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Cody's also close with Nicole, and Nicole's up his butt being like, we got to get rid of her before she gets rid of me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's probably why he's saying her name.
So, Cody is talking to Nicole, and he's like, the nominations are going to be Kevin and David, but if Kevin comes down, I'm thinking Christmas. And Nicole is like, I think that is a very dumb move. And again, this all goes back to Nicole is mad that all of her close people are getting targeted or getting thrown out of the house, and everybody else's are getting to stay. But it's like, Nicole, you've not won one comp this season. Like, if you want your people to stick around, you have to win at least one or two here and there to keep your people safe.
Yeah, I mean, especially whenever everyone else has to get blood on their hands, they have to do what's best for their game.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you can't be mad at them for doing that. Now, maybe if you can make a case that it benefits them to keep that, but...
Yeah, but she doesn't even have a case. She's just like, this sucks. Like, this is annoying that you guys get to keep all of your side pieces, but here I am with nobody because you guys just keep going after mine. But it's like, yeah, like, I'm not going to go after my people just so yours are safe. Like, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
He also tells her here that Christmas has a final three, or Enzo told him that Christmas has a final three with Memphis and Enzo, and so that's another reason that he wants to get Christmas out, which I was shocked that he told her this at this point.
Yeah, I mean, especially when Memphis is like, don't tell, or Enzo's like, don't tell anybody this.
Yeah.
Because it could make Enzo look bad.
But I guess this is Cody trying to plant some seeds on Nicole that Christmas needs to go, so if Nicole does win, she will go after Christmas.
Yeah, that's what he's definitely wanting to do, and he's also wanting to just build even more trust with Nicole, being like, hey, this is why I'm doing this. Here's information. We're sharing information. We're friends.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And then we get Kevin downstairs talking to himself, and he's like, I need to go talk to Cody, but I really don't like him, and I really don't want to. And So he gets up and he goes to the HOH room and he walks in. He's like, what can I do to not be nominated again? Like, just what do I got to do so you don't nominate me again? And Cody's like, he just kind of giggles and laughs because what are you supposed to say to that when you know you're going up? And so they're just talking for a minute. And then all of a sudden the conversation just takes a complete 180 turn to like, Kevin's just like, dude, like, Cody, the world doesn't revolve around you. Like, sorry, but it just doesn't. And Cody's like, why are you making this personal all of a sudden? Like, this conversation was not going that way. We were just talking about, like, my plan and, like, you going up possibly. And then it all of a sudden just went this way. And I don't really appreciate it. And Kevin's just like, sorry, but this is how it is.
Yeah, the way that edit was, I'm not sure if it was very, like, completely, like, there. But, like, it was not good on Kevin, the way that edit looked.
Yeah.
Because it literally went, it was out of nowhere. Literally,
just,
they're talking about.
Basically, he was just like, all of a sudden, like, if you put me up and I go home, you don't have my vote.
Yeah. Cody's like, I mean, if you were in my spot, what would you do? And he's just like, out of nowhere, if I go home on yours, you don't have me.
Yeah.
Like,
what?
Okay, you're going to make threats?
Yeah.
Guess
like,
what? And I would have been, whenever I do nominate you, it's going to be a much more volatile nomination speech, too.
Yeah.
It's going to, I mean, you're like, hey, everybody, Kevin said that whoever sends him home is not getting his vote. So I'm going to put him up on the block. I want everybody to send him home this week so you don't have to worry about losing his vote in the finals.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
throw that target on him, make him look like a bad guy.
This is what I don't understand, like, with these things. Like, it's happened all season. Like, you're on the block, or you know you're going on the block, and you need Cody on your side here. You need to not be the target, yet you go up and talk to him and blatantly make yourself a bigger target than maybe you already were. You're not helping yourself at all. You're just basically being like, hey, send me home. Like, you might as well just walk up and say that.
Yeah, now, I don't think he made himself a bigger target, really. I mean, maybe a little bit in Cody's eyes, but
I do, because
I mean, in Cody's eyes, potentially. Cody already wanted him gone, though.
True, but like, there was already some seeds planted in Cody, and Cody was already kind of getting on board with Christmas. So let's say he puts them up, and something happens where, like, he wins the veto, or Tyler wins the veto, or somebody. There's still a chance that, like, if Kevin goes up there and has a good conversation, they work something out, or they just, like, talk, and it's just a casual conversation, and then that happens. The veto gets used on Kevin. Or they talk someone into using the veto on Kevin, then Christmas goes up and Christmas goes home instead of Kevin. So
Yeah, Kevin.
It didn't help at all. It just makes things
No, it doesn't help in any way, shape, or form.
No.
But there's no situation David goes home this week. So and what would have happened is if David comes off the block or Kevin comes off the block, whoever is a replacement, that person's going home. The replacement goes home. So if David comes off the block, goes up next to Kevin, that person's still going home no matter what. Yeah. So it's just like. Unless he can be like, will someone be a pawn for me? But no one's going to be like, yeah.
No one's going to volunteer for me at this point. But, yeah, I just didn't understand this at all. I don't understand what he was going for. And I get, like, he doesn't like Cody, and this is probably hard to do. But, like, just go up there, smile. Like, if you don't care and you want to go to the jury, sure, do this. But I don't get it. I don't see any upside at all.
Yeah, I mean, it would have made more sense to maybe throw out some ideas opposed to go at the HOH on a personal level. Yeah. Being like, the world doesn't revolve around you. It literally like
a flip switch. Flip switched, and he was like, a switch, I don't know. Either way, he was just like, all of a sudden, if you put me up and I go home, it's 100% on you, and you will never have my vote. And he's like, we're really doing this right now. Like, you're really going to go like this. He's like, the world doesn't revolve around you. And Cody's like, what are you talking about? Like, where did this even come from?
Yeah, that was.
But like, it's an all-star season, and we have people being like, if I go home on your HOH, I'm not voting for you. Like, I could see this happening on like a regular, like, people that have never played before. This happening, but like, you've been there. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it didn't make, especially now. Why does Kevin not like Cody so much? Is it just because they don't talk, or?
I just don't think they get along. I just don't think they have anything. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so it's just like, it just makes sense. If he's been like a douche to you all season, maybe that makes sense. But it's like, if you guys just aren't talking because you don't get along, it's not like, yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah, and also, and two, with this conversation, like, even if there was a slight chance, like I know like he probably thought I'm going on the block either way, so who cares? But even if there's that slight chance that you're not, this is just like even more reason to do it. So like it's just there's no win in this situation for Kevin.
Yeah, if I was Cody, I might have even went as far to be like, Kevin, I wasn't going to put you on the block, but after the conversation you had with me,
I would 100. Yeah,
I would
definitely
try to make it feel horrible, and then just make him feel like he's the biggest target in the world.
Biggest idiot.
You're going to go at me. I'm going to make you feel bad about it.
Yeah. So nominations come. Kevin and David are nominated. He basically just says, Kevin, the conversation we had upstairs just took a turn for the worst. I don't really know what happened there, but here we are. And he tells David, he's like, we kind of separated, and I don't really know why, but at least you got veto, and I just go out there and play. Good luck to both of you guys. And yeah, that's it. David and Kevin on the block. Which, shocker, I think that's what everybody was expecting.
Yeah, and David didn't really seem too, like, upset about it. He's just like, this is just my chance to be LeBron. So
yeah, I was going to bring that up. He was like, LeBron was down 3-1, and he came back and won the championship. This is just going to be my LeBron moment. It's like, dude, like, I think if he thinks if he gets so hyped up in the DR about comps and stuff, like, it's just going to happen. Because this happens every week. He just, like, gets really excited in the DR, but then never wins anything.
Yeah. Well, he won one thing based off how good he is, but
and then lied about it. But then later was like, "Oh yeah, it was me."
No, but I'm rooting for David. This is a Dave podcast now.
Yep. So
we are Team Dave.
So yeah, we got Wednesday, we got the veto. Thursday, triple eviction. So I'm assuming the way the triple eviction is going to work is David or Kevin, or if the veto's used, whoever's on the block will go home, and then after,
it's either Kevin or the replacement.
Yeah. Or
immediately they're going to run outside and do HOH.
Yeah, HOH, nominations, veto ceremony, whatever, and then vote. And then as soon as that is over, I'm assuming that she's going to be like, all right, run it back. They go back outside, HOH, and just do it all over again. I'm assuming. I don't really know how else they would do it.
Yeah, that's definitely what's going to happen. I think the episode layout is going to be probably 30 minutes of week gameplay, like the recap, 30-minute recap. And then we're going to get the 15-minute segment of nominations. Yeah. And then what I really hope they do is instantly be like, house guests, please come to the living room. Tonight is double eviction. Or tell them wherever, it's double eviction. And then as soon as they finish with double eviction, they go through, get their veto done, HOH done, or nominations, eviction done. I hope as soon as they finish that, they say, house guest, please come to the living room. Tonight is triple eviction.
Yeah.
And they'll just
go
be like,
she's like, yeah.
No!
I'm going to throw out my prediction. I think one of the three are not going home, and I think one of the three are going to come back in. I think they're going to be held somewhere, like in a room, or they're going to go. I don't know what's going to happen. House. Maybe, and then there's going to be a comp for just those three, and one of them come back in.
I hope not.
I hope not either. But
based off the time that you laid out, I think last week it would make sense.
I think that's gonna happen. I mean, I don't know, but that's my prediction. I'm just gonna throw it out there. It probably it's not gonna happen, but that's what I say.
Yeah, they could put all three in the neighbor's house, do a neighbor's house competition, and then whoever wins that. But I really hope not. I really want to see just a triple eviction matter.
Yeah. But yeah. So this week, the next two episodes should be exciting. We have Otev Wednesday, which is classic comp, which there's going to be prizes, so I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I think it's going to be interesting to see what people go for prizes and what people go for veto. That could be a big, like, I could see Cody getting mad if, like, let's say Enzo's playing or Tyler's playing or someone like that is playing with him and they go for prizes instead of the veto and he has to do it all by himself. I could see him getting mad at them for that, so that could be some interesting dynamic there. And then Thursday we got the triple, so it should be a good week from here on out. And then hopefully after this week we get the big civil war in the house, and it gets even more exciting. So hopefully the last of this should get a lot more fun and exciting to watch, because this first little bit has just been Win Alliance steamrolling, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's been a very predictable season, but the end of the season should be fun. Should be a very fun end of the season. And triple eviction is one of the most exciting phrases. It's so exciting.
You don't watch Big Brother Canada, do you?
No.
Because they do it on there, or they have done it on there. So it's been done, just not in the U.S. So I was wondering if you'd seen it be done there. But I've not either, so I don't know. But who knows? Either way, you got anything else from tonight?
I'm hoping next year we get a quadruple eviction.
That's all you got? That's it?
Just every single year I want it to go up. Maybe in like 7 seasons we just have one week of Big Brother where everyone goes home on the same night. That'd be sick.
All right, I'm cutting you off. I'm muting you. You're muted. All right. If that's all you got, that's all I got. We appreciate you guys watching. If you guys are watching on YouTube and you like the podcast, leave a like. If you have any suggestions for us, leave them in the comments. And if you subscribe with notifications on, you will know when we post, so you're not behind on anything. And you can watch them as soon as we post them. If you want to watch us record these live, we go live at twitch.tv/realityrundown after every single episode of Big Brother. You can catch us there. Leave a follow there so you get notified when we go live, so you don't have to worry about checking for tweets, checking for the Facebook posts, or anything like that. But yeah, that's all we got. We will be back Wednesday night right after the episode. We will see who wins the veto, see if Kevin or David can come off, and see if Christmas may get backdoored. Who knows? But we appreciate you guys for listening, and we will be back Wednesday.
Peace.